My name is Larry. I'm a mechanic. Welcome to Exxon F1, also known as from Lawon, Kolom, Africa. Before we continue today's video, please, I've noticed that over 80% of you that watch my videos don't subscribe, and some of you don't even finish watching my videos. You help my community, you help this community, the African community, the Nigerian community to grow. So please and please, I beg of you, please subscribe, turn on your notification button, please comment, like. I love you guys. Please just do that so that we can have more content. We want to bring you more and more content. Seriously, at least we want to be dropping 2-3 contents every day. With your help, subscribing and commenting and asking questions, it would help us to be able to deliver more. Please subscribe, turn on the notification button, like, share and comment. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Wow, what a race. My notebook is filled up and I keep looking at it. There's a lot to learn and there's a lot to do. Number one, congratulations to the Red Bull team. They've done an amazing job. I'm having goosebumps. They've really done a perfect job this season. They've put their head down. They've gone in the right direction since last year, either with the help of anything or whatever that we may think. They've done an outstanding job. And congratulations to Max Verstappen. He has driven beautifully this season. Either the team has helped him or not helped. Perez, he has really put his head down, driven beautifully like a champion. No pressure, just on point. And that is perfect. And congratulations also to McLaren. McLaren, I think I'll talk about them before the end of this video, but a big congratulations to them. They have been outstanding in the second part of the season. They've been outstanding. Towards the end of the first part of the season, they start showing signs, they start showing where they want to go, and they've been outstanding. But let's get to the race. Now, the race, like I said yesterday, I knew it was going to be a Max Verstappen and the two McLarens, but who will be heading the McLaren, I cannot release, but I knew Lando Norris could use his experience to hedge Piastri. But you know, the race is all about the sun and the strategy. And we thought the weather today was going to be much more favorable for the tires, but it was scorching hot. Ooh, and the strategies had to play in. Now, the race started with the Red Bulls bringing out their elbows on the two sides. And you know, Max Verstappen trying to get tired because he does not want fight. He just wants to go on his own. So his fight was the first turn. He made sure he pulled out his two elbows to box out Piastri on the right, box out Lando Norris on the left. He took the lead straight. Meanwhile, his teammate struck out his elbow trying to box out Carlos Sainz on his right, but boxing out Lewis Hamilton on the left pushed him and he lost some body work. He lost some tire grind into the grass, and that really started the squab for Lewis Hamilton's race. And for all his troubles and all the troubles in the first part of the race, nobody picked the point, only damages. They only picked damages, and the drivers that picked the damage was Sergio Perez. The squabble between Albon and Bottas and also Logan Sargent. It's just an eyesore for Logan Sargent because of the terrible season he's having. His season has gone from bad to worse and to worst, and it's going terrible. And like I said in the last video, I am not sure, I'm saying it again, I'm not sure we'll be seeing him in F1 next year because his resentment yesterday about himself after the crash, his attitude to the issue, I'm not sure we'll be seeing him in F1 next year. He's a wonderful driver, he's a wonderful guy, he's somebody that wants to race. But with what we're seeing presently, I don't think that guy is going to be in F1. There was a safety car 4 laps to get the rubbles and the broken particles from Sergio Perez, Valtteri Bottas' destroyed front wings. So after that squabble, they remained and they got it out of the way. But for Sergio Perez, after pitting, he came out rushing out of the pit lane to overtake some cars. He gave the place back. But when he was entering the pit lane, he made a mistake on entering the pit lane and he got 5-second penalty for his troubles. I remember yesterday, Logan Sargent had this crash and the chassis had to be replaced. It's just like a total car replacement. So he was given 10-second penalty for that, and he was going to start from the pit lane. Now, the 10-second penalty was to be added during the race. Well, he was able to add the 10-second penalty. and his race was just mad. He had a contact again during the race between him and Bottas. That's Logan Sargent and Bottas. Him crashing into Bottas, destroying Bottas' race, retiring Bottas. Will he get a penalty against the next race in Qatar? Losail Qatar? We don't know yet. But I don't talk about him. Now, let's go to the Mercedes. They had a squabble, and I think immediately Lewis Hamilton picked that damage on his car, in which limited his pace. His teammate was ready to pounce on him, was able to pounce on him, but Lewis Hamilton, trying to gather himself back, was able to get the position back. They squabbled, they pushed themselves out on track. His teammate George Russell was not happy, and I think Mercedes, they have a lot of jobs to do. They need to get themselves in place, because next year, if they have a very good car next year to compete, they would have issues. This is already showing they would have issues. If they can get their car sorted out with the present situation, they are going to have issues, because George is thirsty to win, Lewis Hamilton is thirsty to win, and also both drivers will also think they're fighting for something. They are fighting for the team, and they're fighting for a championship. And if the team position is being forgotten, then they're fighting to lose. They should think about that. By lap 8, Valtteri Bottas was the first driver out of the race with his DNF because of this contact with Logan Sargent, and Logan Sargent adding another 5-second penalty to his pain. That's another 15-second penalty. And to him, was unable to finish the race. He had to retire. Sergio Perez, because of the safety car infringement, he had a second lap trying to enter the pit. He got a 5-second penalty in lap 10. But at the end of the day, he had to retire the car. But the car came out again during the race. Like I said, the degradation was just high. The degradation there was higher than the fuel burning. And Sergio Perez coming out again, got caught up with Kevin Magnussen, lost the second front wing. He had to change his front wing again. And that shows how the pressure Sergio Perez is under is eating up on his race, and is eating up on him. And I think this would show the integrity of Red Bull in decisions and how they handle their drivers, because I think that guy is under so much pressure, and I'm not sure. I'm still saying it. He's on the contract to 2024. I'm not sure he will be racing in 2024. If he races in 2024, will he be finishing 2024 with Red Bull? There is no guarantee, because from what Chris Horner said yesterday in his interview, it showed that there is no guarantee. It's still a 50-50% for him, for Sergio Perez. And he retired his car on lap 15, but the Russell and Hamilton issue continued, and they had to change strategy to make sure that they are able to compensate the drivers. But will the strategy change work for them? I'm not sure, because changing the strategy didn't really change the race, because whatever they did there, is it not going to haunt them towards the end of the race? Because they only looked at the way they can solve the situation temporarily, not permanently. And I think because Toto Wolff was not around, they had a lot of issues in solving that situation. And I think they really need to get themselves, put their heads together, and look at how they can make sure they maximize their races. Because with this, it's going to get harder and harder for them. Lance Stroll was out by lap 22, picked up damage. He was out. Bottas was out already. Perez was out. Albon was out also by lap 27. Could no longer continue. Not reliability issue, but damages. There are 5 cars out already, and you keep looking at why these cars are out. One, majorly was because of the damage they all incurred between lap 1 and lap 10. Red Bull of Max Verstappen was just out there for the 53 laps, leading the race. And like I said yesterday, he might even lead for over 30 seconds, but because of this 4-lap safety car and the VSC for like 2 laps, I think that cut down his lead, because he could have led as much as that. But I think he had a 20-second lead over Lando Norris. George Russell was able to make his one-stop work. But looking at it, on insight, was it the best? This brought out a battle between himself and his teammate towards the end of the race. And you look at it, does Mercedes really need all this, or they need to concentrate on how to become second in the championship, and how Hamilton will be able to take advantage of Perez's situation and come second in the championship? I think Mercedes needs to look at that. There's a driver grabbing points in every race. They are looking to get second in the championship and also second in the drivers' championship. Do they really need to start making mistakes, or battling, or doing, or taking unnecessary chances? I don't think Mercedes really needs that, but they're already putting themselves in that situation. Now, Red Bull were wise. They were looking at how they can maximize the potential threat against them in the next race. If possible, they can put Perez in a good position to continue to get points. They were able to take him out again after consultations with the FIA on the rules. They put him out again to serve the penalties he incurred during the race, so that he won't be serving those penalties in the next race. That is a team that is looking out out, also looking out for his position in the championship, because it will work well for them if they're able to keep their second place for him all through the season, because that is what it will come down to. They were unable to do it last year with all the shambolic structures they were able to put down between the two teammates last year in races. So I think they are trying to do that this season by making sure they get Sergio Perez out of penalties against Losail Grand Prix in Qatar. Now, doing that, it saved them a lot. Now, on the strategy issue, you look at Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton getting 2 stops made sense for him because Lewis Hamilton struggled all through the race. The car was imbalanced. He had damage from the first lap, in which he picked up with his squeezing out of the track from Sergio Perez, in which Sergio Perez too was chased out because he was throwing his elbows on Carlos Sainz. So he picked up a damage, so struggled all through the race. He made a lot of mistakes, putting his car on the grass on so many occasions, so he lost out. He was unable to put pressure on the Ferrari. And remember, the Ferrari had a big upgrade this weekend. The McLaren had a big upgrade last weekend, in which they brought some bits again this weekend to give them the pace. So it's only the Mercedes that are changing their rear wings, adjusting their front wings, and bringing bits. They never brought a big update. We hope they bring a bigger update in Qatar to put them back, because the McLaren are ahead of them now, as in they are way ahead of them. The Ferrari are way ahead of them, but they are still ahead of Aston Martin, but they are unable to put up the fight and bring themselves in positions in which they will be able to fight and keep getting points and getting bigger points. And how will they do that? They don't do that by fighting on the track. They still need to get these two drivers head right on the ground to put them in the right. You guys, you need to start thinking for the team, not start destroying your races for the team. They need to know. They need to get that into their head, because they just nearly put themselves out through it all. Because with that, Hamilton lost position. He was unable to chase down Leclerc. He was pushed back into Carlos Sainz. This is not Singapore. You don't start giving your driver that's on a different strategy. You can't give him DRS. This place is easier to race and to pass than Singapore. You can't give him DRS and it works. You are risking your own race. They risked their race with Hamilton. He could have come 6th or even 7th. The two drivers could have taken themselves out. So I think Mercedes need to sit down and think on the strategy, because the decisions, I think, were wrong. But all in all, Russell made the one-stop work, but still it was a total domination. Like I said, from the Red Bull, they are back just in front, and it shows to the end of this season they are still bringing upgrades, and I don't know why they are still bringing upgrades. Not because they don't need it, because they should just focus on next year and see how they can win if possible. But hasn't the cost cap eating on them? Because I'm still thinking about it. They're still bringing upgrades. The cost cap should have eaten up on them. Is the FIA looking at this? I think FIA needs to tell us what is happening, because I don't understand. But congratulations to them. It was a total domination, a total annihilation. You know, they really made other teams look like rookies. The McLarens, the Mercedes, the Ferrari, the Aston Martins, they look like rookies. And remember, these 4 names I called are big car manufacturers against Honda engine. Wow. Yes, that is it. They're big car manufacturers against Honda engine. Well, I don't know. So to McLaren, it's a beautiful performance. It's a beautiful race. It's a beautiful position they can put themselves in. Being 30 seconds ahead of Mercedes. McLaren, 30 seconds ahead of the Mercedes. Now, look at it. In the beginning of the season, Aston Martin were like 15 seconds ahead of the Mercedes, or 15 to 20 seconds ahead of the Mercedes. Mercedes engine, Aston Martin chassis. Mercedes engine and gearbox, Aston Martin chassis. Towards the end of the season, McLaren 30 seconds ahead of the Mercedes. Mercedes engine, McLaren chassis. It shows how way back Mercedes have drawn themselves. And like I said in other posts that I've made, analyzing the way their car is, the foundation of the car is wrong. It's built on a podless and a frontal seat pedestal. So they need to change the concept. They need to overhaul the whole concept, not just bringing that concept back and overhauling. A total rejig of the concept and bring like a total new car like McLaren did. They made a mistake from the beginning. They saw it in Bahrain. They didn't even fight. They went for a new car totally. And that has brought them to where they are, because that new car, they've been able to upgrade it. They are not closer to Red Bull, but they have been the closest team to Red Bull this season than any other team. At this point of the race, they are the closest team to Red Bull than any other team. In pace, in fight, because if Lando Norris had been able to overtake Max Verstappen, he might have put Max Verstappen's race under jeopardy. How? If he was able to overtake, he will be in free here. He will be able to fight Max Verstappen for like 3 to 5 laps, which might put Max Verstappen's tire into a total degradation, and he would have to reduce his pace and put Max Verstappen in the light or in close battle with his teammate Piastri. and that would have just destroyed Max Verstappen's pace. So that could have happened, but it's still one way or the other. But Max Verstappen knew that he was able to overtake them right from the first, second turning, which shows how Max Verstappen thinks about his race, because he does not want to jeopardize his race. So he is a good driver. He's thinking about what will happen if he makes a mistake. He thinks fast. He thinks fast. To McLaren again, congratulations. They've really improved. They've really pushed themselves, and I can see that if they can do this next season, they will be in total contention. And I think Red Bull are in trouble. If Mercedes can get it right, Red Bull are in trouble. It will be like a 3-4, and if Ferrari too can get it right, I think Ferrari now understands their car better, but not like they really understand it. They are still having issues of the car coming alive once in a while and going off once in a while, so they need to sort that out. I think their tire issue, they've really sorted out up to a point, because the upgrades they brought this weekend made their rear tires work well. They didn't really lose pace on tire when Mercedes were losing pace on tire. They've really made that work, and I think kudos to them. But Mercedes, from third fastest car, I think they are now the fourth or the fifth fastest car. And Aston Martin really did a good job. They're unable to continue with the kind of pace, with the kind of potentials they have at the beginning of the season. And I think that they need to look at and see how they can come back stronger next year. So congratulations again. I'm saying this again and again. It's a back-to-back Constructors Championship for the Red Bull. Congratulations again. And to Oscar Piastri, his first podium for the season, his first driver of the day. And it's a great weekend for him. And a wonderful weekend for Max Verstappen, leading from free practice 1 to the race, and even claiming the extra 1 point for fastest car on the track. Like I said, George and Lewis will have a lot of squabs next year. If they keep going on this pedestal, they will have a lot of battles. That is it. We get to meet in Losail, but before that, there will be a lot of videos dropping, giving you analysis. There's just a week break. Analysis of what has happened, how these teams can improve, especially with downforce. McLaren has really improved on their downforce. They are ahead. Ferrari has closed up the gap to them, bringing new upgrades this weekend. Let's see if they can switch up their upgrades and make it work. There are still like 5 races to the end of the season, and it's going to be a big close battle during those 5 races, and let's see who comes up on top. But for the race, Max Verstappen won the race, Lando Norris second, Oscar Piastri third, Charles Leclerc fourth, Lewis Hamilton fifth, Carlos Sainz sixth, George Russell seventh, Fernando Alonso 8th, Pierre Gasly 9th, and Ocon 10th. And that is a good race for the Alpine. They gave Alonso a tough race, and having double points again this season is a good one for them. And like I said, I hope the FIA will be able to open up the engine for them to improve their engine against next year, so that they can come back into this battle and make it a little bit tough at the top, so that it won't be lonely at the top for Red Bull. They can make the battle much more stiffer, like a 5-6 horse races to the championship next year. Up until the next video, okay, we love you. Subscribe, like, share, comment. I love you. Bye. Cheers.
Gibor gives you power. Gibor gives you control. Gibor gives you benefits. Are you an individual or business that uses fuel or gas? Use Gibor to find the best prices across all retail outlets in your city. For users and businesses that buy volumes, Gibor gives you access to credit. Gibor also gives you the ability to track your costs and monitor expenses per car or fleet. Need to improve your costs, enjoy incentives, or track expense? Gibor is the answer. Enjoy 5% discount on your first 5 purchases when you get your next fuel voucher from Gibor. Log on to www.gibor.co to enjoy this. Retail outlets wanted nationwide.
I have a new friend in the house. We are in Nigeria here, West Africa. He provides internet for us. They provide the best internet around the mainland, and I know they are still moving to the highland and they are moving all around Nigeria. But for you to get internet on the mainland, contact Fibrad Telecom Limited. They get you sorted out ASAP. The best cable internet on the mainland, fiber, I think they get sorted out. We talk much about them in the course of some of our videos, but contact them, they get sorted out. If you're a builder, if you're an art collector, if you have a showroom, Rated is the best place to get the artworks you need for your new buildings, for your art collections, for your showroom, for your exhibition. Rated Art have one of the best murals, mosaic works, and different art patterns in Nigeria presently. And it's somebody that you can communicate with, talks to you, you tell him what you want, and he will bring the reality out for you. Contact Rated Art. His number is right up here, and you can also go on social media links that are pasted right up here to check out some of his works. Thank you. Teams Gadget is for those of you that cannot easily go to the market to get your phones, your laptops, your accessories. Just put place a call through. His phone number is there. It gets you the best. It's your shop plug to get you the best phones, accessories, laptops, games, and other accessories for your computer gaming experience. Contact Teams Gadget and you get them for you.